In the cold of a northern Iowa winter, a Panther prowls in search of a Missouri Valley Conference win. Awaiting them, the most surprising team, not only in the Valley, but perhaps the entire country. Coventry Healthcare and Aetna Company proudly presents the Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Game of the Week on ESPN3 as the Loyola Ramblers visit the Northern Iowa Panthers. A very pleasant good afternoon, one and all. Bruce Haertl along with Kevin Lehman, where Northern Iowa is nationally ranked, but they're also 0-1 out of the Valley gate, giving today's matchup a little higher sense of urgency.
Well, Ben Jacobson has created a culture where he expects to win, whether it's on the road or at home. This is a team that's been the most consistent in the Valley. 11 years, they've had a top half finish in the Valley.
As for Loyola of Chicago, head coach Porter Moser, talking with us yesterday, joked, well, we're not very tall, but at least we're thin. But they're playing pretty large at 11-2 out of the gate. A beautiful evening in Norman, Oklahoma. Sun-drenched, but a little cool. The breeze blowing in from left as North Texas pays a visit to Oklahoma, looking to slow the march of history. A very pleasant good evening, one and all. Bruce Haertl along with DJ Sanchez, where tonight the storyline is simply square on one person. Lauren Chamberlain, just one home run away from becoming the most prolific slugger in college softball history.
Yeah, we got to see history over the weekend, so now the exciting part starts to see how far this record is going to go.
The thing that's most impressive about watching Lauren Chamberlain is that it hasn't seemed to have affected her overall play. She hasn't allowed that one historic pursuit to spoil what the team is trying to do, testimony to the type of team player that she is. A bone-chilling night outside as the Roundhouse welcomes in one of the longest-standing rivalries in the Missouri Valley Conference as the Bradley Braves come in to resume a relationship that dates all the way back to the late 40s. A pleasant good evening, one and all. Bruce Haertl along with Bob Hull. The Shockers have beat Bradley 9 straight games. They have 23 in a row over Valley opponents and 24 straight on their home floor, but they've had travel issues on the road the last couple of weeks, and they have been a tired basketball team.
Well, they went over to Hawaii, played 3 games in 4 days in the Diamond Head Classic, and then that ride home's a killer. You know, you go all night long, and it's a 4-hour time difference. And then on the way up to Des Moines, they had plane troubles, had to come back and then fly the day of the game, so that kind of screwed things up a little bit. But Coach Marshall has had them back in the gym. They're out of school right now, and so he's had a lot of time in practice, so I think they got their legs back now.
Bradley is without their top scorer. Warren Jones out with a foot injury, so the onus now shifts to point guard Tremeke Sutherland. Sheldon Noisy on a tear, has homered in 4 of his last 5 games. He's the Big 12 Player of the Week. A slugging percentage of .627 sounds like a guy you'd want in your foxhole, at least in your lineup. Spring is in the air, the first promise of the change of season on a Chamber of Commerce day in Norman for this interstate matchup, the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts and the Sooners of Oklahoma. Pleasant good evening, one and all. Bruce Haertl along with former OU great and major leaguer George Frazier as the Sooners take on the Golden Eagles. Oklahoma's won 2 in a row, 4 of their last 5, playing good baseball, swinging the bats and getting some timely pitching.
They are, and that's the biggest thing I've noticed about this ball club. It all starts on the mound, and they started there. An earned run average under 3, 291. I think it's top to bottom success. I think tonight for Choplik, he's got to go out and throw strikes and attack the zone.
Adam Choplik has been a little inconsistent early on. Pete Hughes wants to see a little more consistency out of him early.
Well, he's a senior. He should be. Go out and be a leader on this ball club and go out and set the tone for this team. And I think that's what they're looking for him. They would like for him to be that Sunday starter.
Ryan Fulmer is the head coach for the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts, 6-7 in this his 3rd year. Pleasant good evening, one and all. Welcome into McCaslin Fieldhouse, where tonight it's OU Texas, the Red River rivalry resuming in volleyball style. Bruce Haertl along with Laura Alford, and you love this matchup. Oklahoma, Texas, not much more needs to be said. But since we have a little time to fill, we'll say something. First of all, Texas coming in here after losing to Oklahoma just 3 weeks ago at home and ending a 34-game home winning streak. More than that, it's just about continuing to play well for the University of Texas.
It's true, and you know they've got their player Amy Neal back. She was out for the match against Oklahoma. She's a great ball control player. They rely on her quite a bit during the match, and they're happy to have her back on the court to play this match.
Let's get to the University of Oklahoma player to watch, and there's a couple of them, but how about Kiera is a player that is just absolutely lighting it up. She's on a pace to gain 1,000 kills in her career before this year is out. She has been remarkable in this her junior season. The Reynolds Center on the campus of Tulsa University, the continuation of a rivalry which traces its roots back to 1931. Wichita State and Tulsa, brethren in the Missouri Valley Conference, meeting tonight for the first good test for both in this young season. Very pleasant good evening, one and all. Bruce Haertl along with Shane Dennis. The Shockers have won a staggering 76% of their road games over the last 6 years, Shane. No one in the country's been better.
53 of their last 70. They've walked out of the opponent's barn with a victory. No other team can boast as good a winning percentage as you said, and it's the core. Baker, Van Vliet, Wessel leading the charge.
Let's talk about Fred Van Vliet. Very much concern about his health or lack thereof. First it was a hamstring, then an ankle tweak that allowed him to play only 3 minutes in last weekend's opener.
And Tulsa's got a couple of really good guards that he's going to have to check one or the other. Shaquille Harrison likes to slash and drive it. James Woodard likes to pull up and shoot the threes. Who he guards and how effective he can be are the two real questions for Fred Van Vliet tonight.
Even with their veteran presence, youth is being served at Wichita State. A precocious bunch of freshmen coming on the road, though, Shane, for the first time. A beautiful night for baseball here at the Eck in this regular season home finale as the champions of the Summit League, Oral Roberts, visits a resurgent Wichita State. A very pleasant good evening, one and all. Bruce Haertl along with Shane Dennis, the Shockers and the Golden Eagles tonight. Wichita State playing well down the season stretch. They've won 8 in a row at home.
And I think that's key because you mentioned it in the open. It's better late than never. The conference tournament here starting on Wednesday. They've won 8 in a row at home. They can parlay that into a little something, and the old 4 days in May thing may kick in.
Let's talk about Oral Roberts. Up and down the lineup, all 9 guys hitting 300 or better. Nobody's better with the power than Anthony Sequeira.
Yeah, picking out the most dangerous guy in this lineup is kind of tough. It's not because there aren't any, it's because they all are. Leads the team in home runs, RBI, and total bases. When you face this guy who will swing and miss a little bit, you just hope it's with the bases empty.
As for Wichita State, they continue to ride the hot stick of Sam Hilliard. He's hit safely in 6 straight and 12 of the last 13.
And he likes hitting it home, 390 batting average in this building. And like a lot of hitters, when he's at his best, he's spraying it all over the yard and not getting pull happy. He's been a mainstay over the last 3 weeks or so in the middle of this lineup.
Looking for some help from his bat, but the Shocks also looking to match their season-high winning streak with 5 in a row tonight, turning to the arm of the aforementioned Hilliard, who had a solid outing against K-State just last week. Looking for more of the same here tonight. Lineups and first pitch coming up.